And that's basically what brought us to the finish line.
But you
The other concept, though, too.
You understand what happened overnight. Adam turned Matt loose, okay? Now, those of you who know Matt will understand this. Those of you who don't, hopefully you get the joke. Matt doesn't need propagation because he's so loud when he screams into the microphone that they can hear him in California without radio waves.
Yeah, he took over that tradition
He
from our old buddy
had
Mike Reschner.
something like 200 or 300 QSOs in the space of about 4 hours.
And it was dead.
And it was
dead.
personal
The bands were
dedication.
dead.
Right, for personal dedication, I did not mean to pump Adam at all. But when I roused myself from my nap, there's Adam catching maybe 30 seconds worth of catnapping in the front of his pickup truck. And this was not a motivational thing, it was just because I didn't want to grab the door and have him fall out. Bolted to attention and without any explanation, opened the car door, walked right back to the tent, and started operating again. And I was like, Adam, I didn't mean to deprive you of any sleep. No, I'm good to go. So, phenomenal effort. We need a couple more fanatics. We need some young blood. We need a couple more folks to help in the go-to tent, and a few more bodies to make those points, and we'll be fine again for next year. I just want to caution you on something, though. We've been up Mount Everest. I don't know what's left. Temper your judgment in terms of what's successful, because essentially we're looking down at the rest of the world at this point, and we could easily stagger a couple hundred points next year. Don't think of that as a major stumbling situation, especially if we still finish in the top 10. But there you go. Thank you very much. And it was basically been a pleasure being captain again. And hopefully I'll be around next year, but guys, the prognosis is good so far. The only comment I will make, though, is I've now been put on the 4th drug in my regimen, where if you look at the side effects, it says imbalance and causes mental confusion.
How will we tell?
Thanks again for your effort this year.
So Terry, this contesting, increased operator experience by contesting, just to give everybody, we talked about this, like Terry said, don't have a full plan in place. But what it comes down to is there's contests every other weekend, every 3 weekends. There's contests regularly on the air, QSO parties, and what we've talked about is setting up a radio somewhere, whether it's at the observatory or at Terry's house or wherever, and have a casual, we're going to operate during the day, and we're going to see what kind of QSOs we make, and we're not pointing it, and we're not trying to make any accomplishment other than to have club members see, hear, and hopefully participate in what we're doing. So we're not going to be up all night doing 24 hours of a party trying to escape. You may be, but it's just so that, at some regular hour people get the experience of what it is and not be unfamiliar with it.
Also, I'd like to mention there is a slow speed CW contest every month.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to start.
Run by the NAQCC, and I can't remember what that stands for. But like straight keys, it's QRP, it's the other operator slows down at your speed. It's a great way to get started in CW contesting. Very low key, so to speak.
And before I just get off the air for the night, I just wanted to point out a couple pieces of equipment that were generously donated out of Leader's estate by his son to the club, which we will in all probability be selling for fundraising purposes, although there's some question as to whether we'll get rid of this guy immediately. We might want to use it for one field day first. But for anyone who's looking for a rig, the Tentec Jupiter we will be selling for somewhere in the vicinity of about $850. If you're a CW operator or an aspiring one, this is a great CW rig, totally out of proportion for the price that you pay for it. If you're a beginner or a ham looking for an intermediate rig, and when I say intermediate, perfectly adequate rig to operate, it's just not in the $5,000 new category. A lot of the super rigs are. It's a great rig to look at. Like I say, this baby we may sell eventually. It just depends on how much we need the money. We may keep it around for one field day. But this is a rig in about the $1,200 category. This particular piece of test equipment is very popular. This is an item that anyone that builds antennas might like to have. It's an SWR meter made by MFJ. This is a baby that goes for about $260 retail. We'll probably put a price tag on this guy of about $140. I am only telling you this now because we reserve the right to grab these guys, drag them up to the Nutmeg, Amfest, and sell them for what we can get for them, as long as the price is in the ballpark of what we're asking here. But give some thought as to whether you might be interested in any of those pieces of equipment. And also spread the word. If you're here as a guest from another club, feel free to just mention it to your club members. We'll be putting the references to these guys in the club website. Bob Johnson, you do that. The other thing I would ask is, if there's a lot of you that are gonna go to the Nutmeg Hamfest this year, I would appreciate it if you could give me some time helping me cover the operation. I'll do most of the grunt work, but you do need to be careful. That's all I can tell you. Because last year I did recognize a certain gentleman who I think walked off with a relatively small piece of equipment on us that he stole from me. I didn't notice it. He looked a little bit suspicious, and I looked down and saw an attenuator. Oh, guys, we lost out of $25. This is nothing to get that guy shake over. But I will be bringing my cat spray and my Louisville slugger. And if he shows up, I'm gonna look at him. And if you're with me, you're gonna join me and just say, not here. I don't want you anywhere near my table. And guys, watch him. He's a thief. To his face in the presence of all sellers. You follow me? I don't think he'll say anything.
How's that a new location?
People don't talk well with baseball bats, in my experience.
It's at a new location, it's probably gonna be indoors though.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
No.
is, the flea market's still gonna be outside for us that are paying $10 or $5, I think. But we'll
Yeah.
see how that pans out.
They're expecting the flea market to be out in the parking
Oh,
lot.
no, it's an inside-outside proposition, just like it's always been. So you pay extra, but you know, they're very reasonable about what they're charging. So you know what, if the rigs come with us and there's inside space available, hell, we may go for it. Yeah.
On this contest this weekend.
Yeah.
Where does one start, on those are big bands, where do
Right.
I start to troll?
So now, do you have a good VHF operation, or describe your station?
Well, I have a vertical on my garage, 100
Okay.
watt ICOM 746 Pro.
Okay, yeah, that's a good rig for the
Yeah.
purpose. You can get on 6 meters.
And
You don't have
it's-
anything in the horizontal category though, right?
No, actually, I'm pretty well vertical for everything, because
Okay.
my wires keep falling down.
Again, in this context, you want to go horizontal if possible. What's the tallest tree that you have on your property?
That I own, or
Yeah.
that I can hit?
Spoken like a ham.
Because we have 2 6-meter beams. Now, the brand new pristine one, we preserve for field day, and that's not really available. But we do have a 6-meter beam that was bequeathed to us by one of the club members many moons ago.
I have never gotten
Right?
anything on 6 meters with this equipment.
Oh, really?
I mean, I heard
Alright.
a little bzz, but
Alright,
it's
well-
really,
Possibly because it's vertical, the vertical
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
horizontal.
That
I got this
process.
diamond,
Yeah.
tri-band.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to keep everybody too much longer, but talk to me after the meeting.
Yeah.
We'll see if they come up before. All right?
Yeah.
Jupiter's a nice radio, I use Bill Smith's.
Well, I got news for you. Pete, I grabbed that.
Yeah.
Pete's looking for an early vintage green screen Jupiter, but I still gotta power the baby up to make sure it works. And Pete may take the thing off my hands for full list price of $850, and that'll be off the boards at that point. There's also miscellaneous test equipment that he's got, and interestingly enough, John, I found this an HP site where they buy old HP equipment.
Yeah.
And the frequency analyzer or source that we're looking at, I'm waiting on a price quote from them.
Do you have any Russian